All right, just taking a moment for everyone to get in here and then we'll start. All right. All right, we are live here from T Storm Chaser Studio. Giving you guys a winter weather update as we have a lot to get to, actually. Let's go ahead and jump into it now. Let's go ahead and pull up the radar here. Go. All right, everyone. Good morning out there. Happy Wednesday. It is January 21st, 2026. We're here to bring you guys a winter weather update as there's a lot going on here. So, first off, here is a look at the radar picture. And as you can see, throughout the morning hours, we didn't have a whole lot of snow until about an hour ago. And now we are seeing some snow move through our area. There was some snow that has moved through the Sioux Falls area a little earlier, and now we're getting a really healthy batch of snow here that is pushing through southeastern South Dakota. It goes all the way up from Brookings down through the I-29 corridor, Madison, goes through, Del Rapids, Sioux Falls, T, down towards, Viborg, Parker, Lennox, and then down towards Yankton. So that is where we have the current snow, and this is your radar loop, and this is all this activity is moving in a easterly, southeasterly direction. And so this is the current radar view, and all this area in blue, that is where you have the snow. And looking outside, and it is, wow, it is very, very, very snowy out. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys, but it is snowing really, really good out there right now. It is almost whiteout conditions right now. Not quite whiteout yet, but there is some blowing snow, but thankfully the wind is not necessarily a huge factor at this point. But it is snowing really good right now across, this is in T. And so it is snowing really good. And so we got a little window here outside the studio. So we do have some heavy bands of snow moving through the southeastern part of South Dakota. Again, it goes up from De Smet all the way down to, Brookings, Madison, Hartford, Sioux Falls, T. Then it goes down to Lennox, Chancellor, Viborg, Beresford, and Vermilion, and then down towards Yankton. Those are the heaviest bands of snow that is currently going on. So, and we're also not the only area that's seeing snow. If we go ahead and take a look at a couple of other radars here. Let's go up to Aberdeen. Let's take a look at what we're seeing up here. Northeastern South Dakota, we are also seeing some snow. And looks like Aberdeen right now is in the clear, but south and east of Aberdeen, we still have the snow. It goes all the way up towards Webster, and it goes down towards Clark, Doland, down towards Huron, and that is kind of the northern end of this snow activity. And once you get past that, basically, this is kind of the cutoff. Anywhere anywhere out here, you're in the clear. But this is basically the end line of the snow. This is the end of where the snow is going to be at. Once this moves off to the south and east, this is going to be gone. So this is what is left. So just got to get through this part of the snow across these regions in eastern and southeastern South Dakota, and then things will clear out this afternoon. So I wanted to make that clear for you guys of what we're looking at. Also, let's take a look at Minnesota. Let's look at the Minneapolis area and see what we're looking at. And across these areas in Minnesota, we're looking at a lot of light snow activity. We're not seeing any heavy bands of snow or anything like that. We are seeing light snow across Minnesota this morning. Now into Iowa. Has the snow begun in Iowa? Not yet. Not a lot of snow yet in Iowa to talk about. Now the Rapid City radar, this is the current picture. And so there's a little bit of activity out west, but we're not really seeing much. The main event right now is eastern South Dakota. That is where we're seeing the strongest of the snow. And it looks like Sioux Falls and T getting hit hard right now with some snow. So, and looking out the window, I can confirm that we are dealing with some pretty strong snow activity now pushing through the area. So this activity, again, will continue through the rest of the morning hours. And then once we get into the afternoon hours, the snow is expected to move east and into Iowa, and that will kind of be the end of that system. So we just got to get through today. And we got to get through this morning. We got to get through the next few hours of this snow activity, and then we will be, it'll be gone. It'll be out of here before we know it. So, but we got to deal with this first for the next few hours. It's going to be rough out there. Any of these areas that are under the snowpack or under the snow activity is going to be dealing with the, the travel hindrance. It's going to be difficult travel at times for a lot of people. Now, we need to get to the alerts map because we have a lot to get to here on the weather alerts. We have a whole plethora of items to get to here. Let me switch over here. There we go. All right, so this is a map that shows us the weather alerts, and we have a lot of them. Let's take a look here. We have South Dakota, and then southwestern Minnesota, and then northern half of Iowa. That is all under weather alerts. So I'm going to start firstly with the worst to least here. We're going to start with the blizzard warning. We have a blizzard warning that is in effect here for portions of east central South Dakota into Minnesota and then into Iowa. So let me read this off here. This blizzard warning is in the area shaded in gray. So if you're in that gray shaded area, you are under a blizzard warning that includes Beetle County, Huron, includes Kingsbury County, which is De Smet, and then it includes Lake County, which is Madison, Moody County in South Dakota, which includes Flandreau, and then Brookings County, and Brookings under the gun there, all included in this blizzard warning. So let me read this off for you. Blizzard conditions, additional snow accumulations up to 1 inch, winds is gusting as high as 55 miles per hour. And so with the snow falling, and then with the strong wind gusts, that is why they issued the blizzard warning. And this is in effect until 6 p.m. this evening. And it says visibilities may drop below a half a mile due to falling and blowing snow. Plan on slippery road conditions. Whiteout conditions will make travel extremely dangerous or impossible. That's not my words, that is their words. hazardous conditions impacting today. Travel should be restricted to emergencies only. If you must travel, have a winter survival kit with you. If you get stranded, stay with your vehicle. And that is what they are telling the public from the National Weather Service. And that extends into southwestern Minnesota, as there is a blizzard warning out here. Let me read this off. This is for southern Minnesota. Strong winds resulting in blizzard conditions. Round of snow moving through the region today, resulting in minor accumulations of an inch or two. But with the winds increasing this afternoon, will result in blowing snow and reduced visibility. Blizzard conditions are expected across southern Minnesota. And this is in effect from 1 p.m. this afternoon until 7 p.m. this evening. Whiteout conditions are going to be possible, and winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour is going to create those issues. So be aware in these areas. And then we have another blizzard warning area for northern Iowa. And this says a fast-moving storm will bring snow and strong northwest winds into the area from midday tonight and through tonight. And winds gusting as high as 60 miles per hour will blow falling snow and snow already on the ground, greatly reducing visibility down to a quarter mile or less with blizzard-like conditions. And this is in effect until 11 p.m. this evening for northern Iowa. Visibilities could drop again below a quarter of a mile due to falling and blowing snow. Whiteout conditions are expected and will make travel treacherous and potentially life-threatening. Plan on slippery road conditions. And so that is the latest wording there from the National Weather Service. So, cannot stress this enough. If you are in these areas under the blizzard warning, again, some of these communities, Huron, Brookings, Madison, and South Dakota, and then Minnesota, Marshall, New Ulm, Mankato, Worthington, Fairmont, Blue Earth, Windham, all those areas in Minnesota under the gun. And then for Iowa, Waterloo, Mason City, Spencer, Sibley, Emmitsburg, Forest City, all of those communities are under the blizzard warning. And then we have an area in blue, which is a winter weather advisory. That is in effect for north central and eastern portions of South Dakota. This does include Pierre, Aberdeen, and Sioux Falls, all included there. And all of these communities in blue. So if you're under the blue, you are in the winter weather advisory, which is not as severe as the blizzard warning, but still pretty severe here. All right, so let's read this off here. The winter weather advisory is in effect here until 6 p.m. this evening. Additional snow up to 1 inch. Now, there could be more amounts. We could see more than that. We've already seen a little bit more snow than that was predicted last night. Now, it says winds gusting as high as 55 miles per hour. And plan on slippery road conditions. And it says... it doesn't say a whole lot here, actually, but it does say, snow accumulations up to 1 inch, winds gusting as high as 55 miles per hour. It's going to create hazardous conditions. And up into north central South Dakota, let's see what they have to say here. So it says areas of snow and blowing snow. Expected snow accumulations up to 2 inches and winds gusting as high as 50 miles per hour. This is up in the Aberdeen area until 6 p.m. this evening. It is in effect. Plan on slippery road conditions. Blowing snow will lead to areas of quick and sudden reductions to visibility, making travel difficult, especially in rural areas that are prone to blowing snow. Gusty winds could also bring down tree branches. So that is the latest there on those winter weather headlines. So again, for eastern South Dakota and southwest Minnesota, and then into northern Iowa, those are the areas that we're watching today for this winter weather activity. Now, if we put the radar back on, let's show the radar one more time here. and gives us a good depiction of what we have here. So this is where the snow is currently. It is, again, in eastern South Dakota into Minnesota. That is where we have the snow here that is going on across the region. There it is right here. This is your batch of snow that is moving through the area, and it's all moving in an easterly direction, almost southeast direction as well. And so that is what we're looking at there. And so this activity is also, I will say, it is moving fairly quickly as well. But it is still snowing really good in T right now where our studio is. It is still snowing pretty good at this time. And so we're going to be dealing with this for the rest of the morning into the early afternoon hours. And then things will start to fade away as we head into the later afternoon hours. But again, we got to get through this, and I do want to mention there is also some wind advisories as well that's out. As you can see, western South Dakota, south central South Dakota. Actually, it's all of South Dakota, actually, is pretty much under the gun here. Let me read this off here for you. This is a high wind warning that is in effect. The area shaded in tan or mustard color. That is where we have the high wind warning. Let me read this off here. So this is for western South Dakota. High wind warning remains in effect until 5 p.m. Mountain Time this afternoon. Northwest winds 35 to 45 with wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour here. In western South Dakota, high winds may damage roofs, small outbuildings, and signs. Power outages are possible. Travel could be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles like semis, trucks. Strong winds can cause blowing dust, reduce visibility, and flying debris. And a high wind warning means 40 plus mile per hour winds or gusts over 60 are expected or occurring. If you are outdoors, watch for flying or falling objects that may injure you. Use caution if you must drive. So that's the latest wording from the National Weather Service on this high wind warning. And then that also, it does expand into southeastern South Dakota. Here's what it says for the Sioux Falls area. High wind warning in effect with northwest winds 30 to 40 with gusts up to 65. There's also an extreme cold watch that is in effect too. I had forgot to mention that as well. But here's the high wind warning. Northwest winds 30 to 40 with gusts to 65 miles per hour. So very similar to western South Dakota. Now it says the high wind warning is in effect until 6 p.m. this evening. Damaging winds blowing down tree branches are possible. Scattered power outages are expected. Travel will be difficult, especially again for high-profile vehicles. Dangerous cold wind chills as well could cause frostbite on exposed skin in as little as 10 minutes. So strong winds and any falling snow or snow that's already on the ground may result in patchy blowing snow. And then again, the extreme cold watch, which is in effect for our region, for our area, that is in effect from Thursday evening through Friday afternoon. So that is when that's in effect. That's for, again, tomorrow into Friday for very, very cold weather. Now, I think it would be a good idea to show the road conditions map. Let me go ahead and bring up the South Dakota 511 map, and let's go ahead and take a look at what we're looking at. And I have a feeling it is not great out there. So here we are. Let's go ahead and play this out. Take a look at the Sioux Falls area, and that picture you can't really see. Okay, there we go. So that's what I was talking about with the near whiteout conditions across the Sioux Falls area. That's what we're looking at, folks. That is what we're seeing across our area this morning. Again, near whiteout conditions that were going on this morning across eastern and southeastern South Dakota. So that was, again, Sioux Falls a little bit ago, just a few minutes ago. dealing with the near whiteout conditions. And looking at some of these photos, here's another one. This is west of Sioux Falls, and there you go. That is very similar, you know, with the heavy snow falling, near whiteout conditions once again. And that's the story. Look how heavy that snow is. You can see it falling there. That is some heavy snow that is falling. And you look at the interstate, and the interstate is not great. Those roads are not great out there. So that's the current picture for the Sioux Falls area. This is in Davis, and look at those roads right there. That's interstate, and those roads are, you know, you can see they're covered with snow, and they are not in very good shape. Now, you go out farther to the west. For Hand County, they actually have a no travel advisory for Hand County. That includes Miller, the Miller area. And so that is, it says, until further notice, no travel advised for a ground blizzard, zero visibility. So because of the ground blizzard, they have issued a no travel advisory for Hand County. And if you take a look at a picture, I mean, look at these pictures. This was just a few minutes ago. I mean, we're talking, yeah, near whiteout conditions. And some very dangerous travel weather. And so that is now no surprise there that they have issued that no travel advisory. Also, want to mention another county in South Dakota. So there's Walworth County up here, which is Mulbridge and Selby. No travel advisory for Walworth County, which again, that includes Mulbridge and Selby and Java, South Dakota. Now, this is what it looks like up there. And, you know, the blowing snow is going to be an issue up here. You know, it looks like the snow is pretty much gone, or pretty much done falling. The snow looks to be done falling, but still dealing with the blowing snow, and that's why they went ahead and issued that. And no travel advisory, but there's still a truck driving. So you can tell, I mean, these roads, when there's a bunch of wind that picks up, any loose snow on the ground is going to be blowing around onto the roads, and so that's an issue, and that's why they have the no travel advisory. I mean, you look at all of these roads in eastern South Dakota right now. All of them are under the scattered ice / slippery or / snow. They're all under that, or no travel advised. These red shaded roads, you know, Huron up towards, you know, Redfield, Clark, you know, Miller, Highmore, Wessington, all the, you know, a lot of roads here in eastern South Dakota are no travel advised, actually. This one, let's read off Huron. I'm curious here. No travel advised from Huron to Iroquois. Scattered slippery spots in snow-covered towns, blowing snow, visibility near zero. And so that's a lot of these roads across eastern South Dakota, dealing with the scattered blowing snow, snow-covered roads, slippery road conditions, visibility near zero. So that's a lot of roads here in South Dakota. How about up in the Aberdeen area? Well, there's a lot of blowing snow. I mean, you can see just based off of that alone, you can see the blowing snow onto the roads. And these roads are not in the worst condition, but with the blowing snow, it is a problem. Now, see if I can find some of the worst areas. I mean, these roads are not in very good shape. You can see there, that's up near the Howard area. Those roads do not look very good. These roads are not in very good shape, but people are still driving on them. There's not a no travel advisory for I-29, so I want to make that clear. There's not a no travel advisory for I-29. That's not the case. People are still traveling on I-29. They don't have a no travel advisory in place. And so looking at a lot of these roads in eastern South Dakota, they look very similar. Whiteout conditions at times and blowing snow, creating covered roads in a lot of areas. So I think now would be a good time to show the latest model run. So give you guys an idea of what you can expect here as we go throughout the rest of the morning into the afternoon hours of what we can expect for the snow activity. So let's go ahead and play this out here. All right, so play out the latest. This is the current picture. As you can see, throughout the I-29 corridor, we have the snow that is pushing through the area. As we go throughout the next couple of hours, the snow will move into south central and southern Minnesota and then into Iowa. And that's going to be where the snow will move. So our Minnesota audience and our Iowa audience need to be paying attention because the snow is going to be moving into your guys' area within the next couple of hours. And then it'll last through the afternoon hours. And then by this evening, that will exit our region entirely. So Sioux Falls, like I said, once we get through the snow that's currently going on, that's going to be it. So there's only one more batch of snow coming through, and that's right now. Once that passes, we don't see any snow behind that. So we're going to be clearing things out, and we will be done with the snow. And as we head into tomorrow, things are going to be a lot quieter, and we're not seeing anything tomorrow. And then same thing it looks like on Friday. And, when's our next chance for moisture? Well, if we look at the European model, tomorrow, not seeing anything. Now, Friday, there could be some more snow out in southwestern South Dakota into western Nebraska on Friday. And then that could move into, Nebraska, eastern Nebraska, maybe southeastern South Dakota, but this doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look anything major. And we don't see a lot of wind involved with this either. So there could be some flurries on Friday, but we're not expecting much of anything out of that. We're not expecting any accumulation or anything like that. And then on Saturday, things will be dry. And same thing on Sunday. High pressure builds over our region. And so basically, we don't see any snow chances, really. We just got to get through today. We got to get through this current system pushing through our region. And then we will be drying things out and clearing things out. So once again, one last look here at the current radar picture. And as you can see, there was that snow that pushed through. There was an initial band of snow that moved through, and now we have the main event, the main area of snow across southeastern South Dakota. But you can already see it's already starting to push into Minnesota, southwest Minnesota, northwest Iowa. And as we go throughout the rest of the day today, the snow again will push into It'll move across Minnesota and Iowa as it pushes off to the east. So Sioux Falls is about done with the snow. It is still falling at this time. It's been falling for about 45 minutes now, and the snow will be about done here. We just got to get through a little bit more, and then we will be done with the snow. So continue to monitor the latest weather. Have a way to have a weather radar. However you may use it. Find a radar that you like and look at the radar and monitor the weather. Have a safety kit in your vehicle. Things like, have like a first aid kit, have some water, maybe some food. Obviously not like, like non-perishable foods, stuff like that. And, like a winter coat, stocking hat, gloves, boots, stuff like that, snow pants, and those are things, good things to have in your vehicle. Also, spare tire, jumper cables. You just never know when something could happen, and you want to be prepared. And if you're out driving in this, we of course advise you guys to not be out in this if at all possible. But if you do have to be out, I would definitely highly recommend. We urge you to get a safety plan, some kind of safety precautions for traveling. Now, you want to be weather aware today, as again, blizzard warnings continue, winter weather advisories continue. We're still dealing with that stuff. And here's another thing, we're going to be posting a lot here on Facebook and X and Instagram, so be sure to check those out. Have a way to receive alerts, weather alerts. Have a way to receive weather alerts. Have a way to receive a radar and monitoring the latest. We're going to be here. We're going to be watching it all day. We're going to be keeping a close eye on things. We're going to be uploading a couple of videos later, so you don't want to miss those. We're going to be on YouTube, and we're going to be posting videos later today. So we're going to jump off here. We just wanted to give you guys about a half-hour update of the winter weather that is going on across our region. This winter storm and its implications and current picture of things. And we are going to jump off here, but we'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for watching, and we hope you guys did enjoy this video, and we hope you guys are being safe out there. And like I said, we're going to be back on for a couple more videos later today. So for all of us at T Storm Chasers, I'm Riley.